This is the first review of僕のヒーローアカデミア, also known as My Hero Academia. Please enjoy this video. Chapter 101 is about Deku receiving his upgrade for his costume as Hasume Mei is introduced, or more like reintroduced, to the series. You could say this is her official introduction. As comedy ensues, Deku managed to learn something along the way that can solve his problem. As fun this chapter was, I find the solution aspect to be the highlight, which leaves this as a good chapter. This was a enjoyable chapter with a good mixture of comedy and of having more progression on the character, such as Deku finding the solution to what All Might advice meant as not to follow that footstep. So we did the comedies aspect. I find it a lot of fun because the fact that we actually get to see the costume, even though the whole costume dilemma was actually completely off the radar, such as Deku having a Halo-like armor. Let's not forget the mangaka is actually a big fan of a comic, so something you would hear a reference from a comic or a reference to a video game, no less, can it be used in this manga. So with this case, Deku wearing like a big armor, it could be from any superhero, but it's just hilarious to see him with that typical big armor hero suit, and it's just fun to see how Hasume comes up with the idea of these armor, such as Tenya, who actually requested for a booster, and instead he gets the booster for the arm. And the reason for it is because when you're tired of using it for your leg, why not use your arm to replace that? It's actually pretty funny. Hasume is a fun character. I find her character to be delightful, and I was happy to give more to her, and it would give her more spotlight, and it actually put her on the spot with Power Loader, which that's actually a cool name, putting her over as a potential great hero, because the fact that she has been working on so many costumes, upgrades, etc. since the beginning, it just shows you that how much she has been dedicated, how much she really working in order to just to get to her best, and she would just keep on going and going. But her character is just so much fun to watch, especially with the comedy ensue from her when she is so hyped up to know that she would have to provide an armor and upgrade for the hero. She's just crazy at the time. She's egotistical. Funny to watch her how she reacts to anything about armor upgrades or anything that somebody needs a request for an upgrade, especially by the end of her part when Ochako requested something, she just comes straight at her like she's about to kill her. It's hilarious, and I'm happy to see more of her spotlight. I think she will end up being a good supporting character along the way. I don't know about being the character that fights, because we don't know if she would really be of a fighter, but as a support, I wouldn't mind for that, and I would be happy to see more of her. She's actually pretty fun, and I would like to see more of that. The highlight of this chapter, in my opinion, is the part where Deku finds a solution to his problem, and that is the fact that he actually noticed that he has been following footsteps of All Might from the beginning of the series, and I thought it was a really good way how they addressed that, especially when Power Loader tells Hasume to not to follow his footsteps. In other words, it's something that he has seen the similarity, and the fact that Hasume is a person that never gives up and always invents a new thing and always sees a potential to do other things that can surpass the old generation. In this case, it was Power Loader. So in with Deku case, he can surpass All Might by doing something unique or doing something that is his own likings. It's something that is different from him. And what Deku hasn't realized is that he has been copying All Might just by saying like he got the power of one for all. Therefore, he just wants to follow the footstep and just continue that legacy. But instead of continuing that legacy, how about surpassing it? And that's where Deku got the idea. It doesn't really say it, but you get the idea. That is the case of what the morality of this chapter, and that is to always surpass the old generation or find a new way to make yourself unique. And the way how this is addressed, it's amazing that the series actually focused so much that Deku has been doing nothing but hand powers. When it comes to foot power, it's always for a speed boost, but never for combat situation. And now this chapter addressed that, and it finally clicks to Deku when he sees Hasume and the interaction and the way how she's like, you know, in a way saying about Tenya, you know, instead of like doing this, why not do that? It's just a funny way to get the answer, but at the same time, it's actually actually meaningful and it actually makes sense. By the end of the chapter, seeing Deku actually starting to progress into a different style is actually pretty good to see, because they only tells you the future is going to look so good in terms of for entertainment for the audience and in terms of for the character themselves, as well as to make the story more riveting, as to have Deku to go into a different phase of combat. And instead of seeing something that we already seen for All Might, we would like to see more of a different aspect for One for All. And it would be great to see something that's actually different rather than just passing down the exact same format. So I'm happy to see that's going to the direction. It's going to be fun to see a lot of different variety in combat situation. Chapter 101 gets a 7. The series is obviously in training arc process, but it's actually pretty interesting to see how much these characters are evolving, as well as trying to develop an attack name that's actually just something that's like, hey, Shonen usually screams out their names. How about we have it reasoned? So it should be fun to see how they all gonna progress, and then whenever the next phase of action comes in, it will probably be very exciting and it will be very fresh and new, because now every hero is already getting into the combat situation more so than ever, especially with the old generation are fading away, with All Might no longer being the symbol of hope. So it should be interesting, and I'm really happy this series is progressing well. Hopefully nothing goes wrong in the time being. My thoughts are told. Don't let yours on hold. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will continue to do more weekly basis of My Hero Academia chapter reviews. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.